this is a down metal gondola which will bring us into the stratosphere. We are going to be lifted up there by Linde hydrogen. That hydrogen will lift us in a place where nobody can breathe and live. But inside we'll have Linde oxygen, which makes good what the hydrogen makes bad, and makes a very comfortable living place for us. Here, I would like to show you inside, but we have too many people. I couldn't all bring you this gondola. Very little space. Just enough space for Lieutenant Commander Settle, the pilot, and me, who are going to do the work on cosmic rays. But I can show a little bit about it. Here is the ring on which the gondola hangs. Here is the rope to which is connected with offering. This here is a roof garden. If we want some fresh air, we can go on this here, as long as we are still in the lower air. And then when we go in the stratosphere, we close here. You hand me the cover, please. Thank you. This here is the down metal. Oh, I'm sorry for the noise. This here is a down metal cover, you see, very light. That will come inside, and another one similar will come outside. You take it again, please. And then when everything is closed, then we go into the stratosphere, and we do there our work on cosmic rays.
All ready?
Professor Piccard, we are very glad to present you for the Union Carbide and Carbon Corporation with the hydrogen for your expedition. We believe and are sure that the Linde Company has made the purest hydrogen that has ever been produced. We recognize that any impurity may result in the loss of altitude and affect the expedition. I would like to have your comments on this regard.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Carter, for all this hydrogen. That's definitely a great big lot.
You expect to accomplish with the cosmic ray?
Well, first I want to thank you and thank the Union Carbide Company for all this hydrogen you give me. And you give for the whole thing. Everything else you did for helping us to go. Now, since this hydrogen is good as that, I'm sure that it will lift us just as high as any hydrogen could lift us. And, you know, we are going to measure the cosmic rays very high. We want to be as high as possible so that we have as little air as possible between us and the origin of the cosmic rays. And of course, the higher we are, the less air we have, and the better result we'll get. And we're sure we'll get the best result we can get there. Very much hope that we'll get higher and higher up than one has ever been before.
Once again, Professor Piccard, the Belgian scientist, has ascended to heights never before reached by man to study the stratosphere, that unknown region which surrounds the Earth at a distance of more than 7 miles. Last year in May he reached over 9 miles in height, but this time he was out to beat his own record. Accompanied by his assistant, Monsieur Max Cousins, the start was made at dawn from Dubendorf Aerodrome near Zurich. The preparations for the flight began at midnight, but thousands of people had made the journey from Zurich in special trains, whilst a battalion of Swiss troops held down the guy ropes. Professor Piccard himself superintended the arrangements for the inflation of the balloon. And then, when all was ready, he clambered inside the gondola which contained a mass of scientific instruments and gave the signal to let go. The balloon rose quickly and eventually climbed to over 10.5 miles above the Earth. Just imagine, whilst we were sweltering in the heat wave, he was nearly frozen to death in 15 degrees centigrade below zero. After being aloft for over 12 hours, he eventually landed near Lake Garda in Italy. From the practical point of view, Professor Piccard's experiment is of the highest possible importance. But one of the things it will definitely do will be to enable better weather forecasts to be made.
We were on the scene as soon as the Austrian Alpine troops you now see on their way to the glacier to recover the envelope and gondola in which the intrepid professors had made a perfect landing. After their amazing air voyage, just imagine, twice as high as Mount Everest, the biggest mountain in the world. The gondola, only 6'7" in diameter, you'll notice is half black one side and half silver the other. serene and calm, the professor walks down to the village to enjoy a hearty breakfast. When too warm, the bright side was turned to the sun. When too cold, the black. Dr. Kepler was overjoyed as he handed out each of the many instruments, all in perfect order, and recording highly scientific discoveries of the utmost importance.
Here's where the world begins to mock us. The world knows. I can't believe that this commercial was made. The Fricks saw this on TV and had me watch it. This is where it gets really interesting. Now this is new. This is not something I shared last time. But this is a Hennessy. I guess this is Scotch, or is it cognac or what? I don't know. It's some kind of fancy liquor. Yeah. That's all right. It's fancy liquor. I never got to the real fancy stuff. Right? All right. But this is their commercial. Are we ready to play that commercial? Let's play the commercial, and then we'll talk about it. I want y'all to watch this closely. This is a true event that happened in 1931. The physicist, the Belgian-Swiss physicist, Auguste Piccard. This is a true historic event, but they didn't present it in this commercial completely accurate. But we'll deal with that in a second. But it's amazingly, once you realize what they're showing. Go ahead. So in 1931, the Belgian physicist, who was also a friend of Albert Einstein and worked with Albert Einstein from time to time. I mean, this is a very intelligent man, PhD in physics, an engineer. This man created, he built this craft, he put it in, he went up, he was the first man, so he's world record setter. Dr. Auguste Piccard, Star Trek, Jean-Luc Picard, named after him. Okay? First man to reach the stratosphere, the first man who went that high. Now notice in the commercial, the first couple of horizons they show you completely flat. Right? He did this on May 27th, 1931. He set a world record at 51,775 feet. Here's a picture of, I took some stills of this. They showed us, what are they showing us here? They're showing us the basically flat horizon. Now I love how they change it, but it shows him going up, and it shows him breaking through the firmament into what? Water. They're mocking us. They know the truth, and they're mocking us. Now here's some pictures. Auguste Piccard, PhD in physics. This is a well-known historic figure. I mean, stamps of him. I mean, this is not some guy. I can't believe how I never heard of him. Here's him in the Encyclopedia Britannica. Says he was He was born in 1884, died in 1962, Swiss-born Belgian physicist, notable for his exploration of both the upper stratosphere and the depths of the sea in ships of his own design. In 1930, he built a balloon to study cosmic rays. In 1932, he developed a new cabin designed for balloon flights. In the same year, he ascended to 17,008 meters, 55,800 feet, completed. Another one he did it later on. He was born into a family of Swiss scholars. He worked with, like I said, he worked with Albert Einstein. Here's a picture of him with his assistant in the capsule that they went up in, and it had portholes, and this is a porthole. And then I found this. This is a Popular Science magazine from August 1931. He did this in May. So just a few months after his ascent to a world record height, there was an article in there, 10 miles high in an airtight balloon. Now, just so people could say that I didn't get this off the internet, I did a little research. So I went on eBay and searched for Popular Science magazine, 1931, August edition. I found one. I paid $15 for this. It was 25 cents in 1931. Just to verify this fact, and I'm going to read this article to you. This is the testimony of a physicist, scientist, engineer, the first man to reach the stratosphere, that height. His testimony of the shape of the earth. Can I read this to you? It's on page 23. This blew my mind, getting this. Just to verify. Is that the same article? If I was in court, this would be Exhibit 1. Right? Says a huge yellow balloon soared skyward a few weeks ago from Augsburg, Germany. Instead of a basket, it trailed an airtight black and silver aluminum ball. Within, Professor Auguste Piccard, physicist, and Charles Kepfer aimed to explore the air 50,000 feet up. 17 hours later, after being given up for dead, they returned safely from an estimated height of more than 52,000 feet, almost 10 miles, shattering every aircraft altitude record. Oxygen tanks kept them alive while they made observations. Records of their instruments are now being checked and interpreted. First to rise safely into the upper layer of the Earth's stratosphere, they found the air pressure at 10 miles altitude so low, 1/10 of that at sea level, that a man exposed to it would perish, much as a deep sea fish burst of its own internal pressure when it's brought to the Earth's surface. Piccard and his aide found cosmic rays, mysterious radiations from outer space, they thought, of course, far more powerful than the Earth's surface, and engaged their intensity. The explorers trapped samples of upper air, blue air, as Piccard reported it to appear in cylinders. Analysis may prove it exceptionally rich in ozone, the intense blue gas supposedly responsible for the heavy side layer or radio roof. Now listen to this. The story of their adventure surpasses fiction. During the ascent, the aluminum ball began to leak. They plugged it desperately with Vaseline and cotton waste, stopping the leak. In the first half hour, the balloon shot up 9 miles through portholes. The observers saw the Earth through copper-colored, then bluish haze. Here's what he said. It seemed a flat disk with upturned edge. Now this is 1931, before NASA. Before they decided they were going to lie to us, before they conspired worldwide to lie. Some people say that there are no scientists that are flat earthers. Well, guess what? He told you what he saw. What is this magazine? Why did we never hear that in our schools? I never heard of this man. Took an Illuminati commercial to make me look, who is this man? picture of him. And just so you know, this is what I just read right here, where it says, it's seen a flat is the upturned edge. The edge is the